Hi everybody, I'm Katie. Welcome back to our channel, Humzel Homestead. My husband is Ryan, and we are growing our family and building our little homestead. This morning I thought I'm gonna get my makeup on and I'm gonna look really nice in this video, and then life happened and I got to doing a lot of other things outside, and I'll be putting all that in the video, hardening off plants and moving ducklings outside, and so I'm coming to you with no makeup again. Maybe someday I'll look put together. If not, that's okay. Tonight for our recipe challenge, cooking from scratch challenge, is hamburger pie. And I wanted to show you the ingredients I'm using because I'm kind of excited about the ingredients because I'm using some leftovers that we did this week to make this meal. Which I was like, hey, I've got potatoes already because it says, in a covered pan, cook potatoes until they're tender. And I'm like, hey, I had baked potatoes yesterday and we have some left over, so I'm just going to use 3 of the baked potatoes that I made yesterday. But anyway, let me just show you what is in this recipe. We are using, I am the one cooking. I'm using the new cookbook, Better Homes and Garden. This recipe is found on page 245. I have been very vague about exact ingredients because I feel like it's probably copyrighted. And so if you want to get this book, it's great. I love it. My mom gave it to me, and I've been using it for most of the recipes in this challenge that I'm doing. The challenge is I'm trying to not go to the grocery store for food groceries this whole month. I got a huge grocery haul at the beginning, so at the end of April, beginning of May. I am using our ground elk for this instead of beef. So 1 pound of ground beef. This is 1 pound of ground beef, but I won't tell you the rest of the ingredients, measurements. Onion, can of green beans, cut green beans. Okay, this is the next ingredient I'm super excited about because it says use a can of condensed tomato soup. We had herb tomato soup at the beginning of this week. I think it was on Tuesday, so 2 days ago. And this tomato soup is actually made from frozen tomatoes from my own garden. So this is like really cool. I'm using actual tomato soup that I made myself from actual tomatoes that I grew myself. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I should say I grew with God's help. I didn't grow my garden without the help of Heavenly Father helping me. Anyway, I feel like I shouldn't be like, I did this all myself, because I didn't. There were lots of prayers and lots of learning, and anyway, I just don't want to sound like I did this myself, I guess. I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't want to take credit for everything because there was a lot of help. Okay, whatever. 3 medium potatoes. I am rambling. So I'm using baked potatoes that we had last night. Some leftover baked potatoes, 3 baked potatoes, egg, milk. Our milk is hanging on. We have, I think, 2 frozen ones or 1 frozen one left. So I'm definitely going to be buying milk before the end of the month, which I'm a little bummed about. And some shredded cheese. This is one of the recipes that called for American cheese, and I had mentioned that I couldn't find American cheese anywhere. But we had a friend, so we have an auger, and we've been letting, we share our stuff with a friend, and so Ryan has a friend from work that needed to use the auger again, and we were joking with him because the last time they used our auger, they had it for a really long time, which is totally fine. We didn't need it for anything, but we're like, he was building a pig pen, and so we're like, well, give us some sausage then, or give us some bacon to borrow our auger, and he totally gave us some pork sausage, their own, so that was so kind, thanks, and we were totally just joking, but we're grateful. And then the other thing they gave us was American cheese. I don't know where they found this, but this is what it looks like. and it's American cheese. And I'm like, what the heck? Where did they find this? I looked everywhere for it. So I don't know where this cheese comes from. It kind of looks like Velveeta to me. But it says shredded cheese, and I have this shredded cheese already, so I'm just going to use this. But there is such a thing as American cheese. And it is in the store somewhere. I just couldn't find it. I don't know. So weird. Well, there it is. It's gonna go in for 30 minutes at 350, and it looks like it's gonna taste pretty okay. Alright, that's it. This challenge is getting hard. I am definitely getting sick of cooking every meal. And I feel like I sound so spoiled to say that, but next month I'm definitely... I do want to continue with menu planning. I think it is a great way to save money. But next week I'm definitely going to schedule in, like, eat out once a week. Because cooking is not my thing. Here's the plants I began hardening off yesterday. I put them outside for 1 hour yesterday, and I'm going to do that again this morning. I was thinking about putting them out for 2 hours because they recovered really well last night, but I thought, what's the rush? I'm just going to let them have 1 hour again today, because these flowers especially got really kind of floppy, I guess. But look at, these ones started blooming and flowering just after being outside, so I thought that was really interesting. These tomatoes are tomatoes I'm going to be selling, and hopefully I will get to go to the farmer's market this Saturday, and it just depends on my husband's schedule, and I think there's a few that I already have labeled. Yeah, so this one is already sold, and I think this one too. Nope, this one. So I have a few that are already sold, they're labeled, but I'm going to start hardening them off, and yeah, so hopefully this Saturday they'll be sold though, so... These ones will still probably need some more hardening off, so I'll let whoever is buying them know that. Anyway, I'm really happy with how they're looking. Especially these ones. I wasn't worried or anything, but they were definitely looking a little sad last night. I think I'm going to pinch some of... No, I'm not going to pinch anything. Anyway, I was going to pinch these basils. I will tomorrow. I don't want to do it right before I'm putting them out, so I'm putting them out right now. Now I've got 5 containers to move out there because I added that one. And we'll do an hour again today. And then tomorrow for sure I'll do 2 hours because after 2 days of an hour they'll be ready. The next day they'll be ready. So exciting. And there's more room on my shelves now. Don't mind my scary hoarder nest of water bottles. I only need 5, but for some reason I felt like I needed to save more. And then this pepper plant, I did go ahead and cut off the flowers. I'm going to wait to let it flower until I plant it outside. I'm just so happy with it. It's massive. Then I don't really know what to do with these asparagus plants. I went crazy with planting asparagus this year. Seed and stuff from the Tractor Supply. And I did trim some more of my peppers this morning. So some of these guys got a haircut and I was able to spread them out better. And then only one of my habanero plants grew. Well, actually, another one did grow. Where is it? Where is it? It's very funny what happened. Oh, it's over here. I gave up on it growing, so I planted a gazania flower in with it. I thought, oh, it's not going to sprout. It's not going to sprout. But I left the label on the cup, but I kept the dirt in there. So I just didn't think it was going to sprout. And look what sprouted after I planted the gazania flower. So I'm just letting these two things grow together. They should be fine. I might separate them today, actually. Because I would like to have 2 jalapeno plants since only one of them grew. Habanero, not jalapeno. Habaneros are my husband's favorite. So this one's doing well, though. So I decided to put this one under the light, and I put a stick in there so I can remember that's the habanero, and I'm going to leave it in the center so it can have the most light. Center stage, because these other ones I have lots of. Not lots, but I have double and triple plants of the same type. But they're looking great. I'm super happy with them. I'm proud of the little plants for doing a good job. And then those guys were just, I had so many tomatoes sprout. It happens every year. I'm like, I'm only going to plant 1 seed in each cup. And then some didn't sprout, so then I planted some more. And then I got a bunch. And the ducklings are growing so fast. They are definitely outgrowing this space. And I am going to be working on their outside space very soon because it is warm enough. I'll bring them inside at night still, but it is warm enough for them to be outside and spread their wings. I'm actually going to see what happens when I put them in to, this is like my brooder area where I like to raise baby chicks. And the mother hen has her 2 chicken chicks. I'm going to see if these guys can live in here with them and if it'll be peaceful. I would never leave them out here on their own. So I'm going to watch and see what happens. She's in there. She's not really paying attention to them though. Well, so far so good. I've been keeping a close eye on them. And the mother hen is not really messing with these ducklings. She's kind of just keeping her distance. It helps that they're almost as big as her, even though they're babies. But I think they're going to live just fine. This will be nice so they can be out of my house. They are giving me major allergies having them in the house. It's been 1 hour and the ducks are enjoying the nice little shade patch that I gave them, and they are loving their water and they've knocked over their food, but they're doing really good, and the mother hen isn't bothering them at all, and I think it'll be really healthy for them to actually be outside. It's a really, really nice day today. 0 wind, and I'm hoping that we'll have more days like this. So because it's been an hour, I'm coming to check on the plants. I'm definitely going to bring in these flowers. They are... After 1 hour, they can't handle it any longer. But I think I'm going to leave my tomatoes out for 1 more hour. The tomatoes look fine. The tomatoes, eggplants, and tomatillos. It's a little bit spent, but I think that it'll be fine if I leave it out for 1 more hour. So I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm also gonna leave the herbs out. I might check on them in half an hour and see how they're doing. I also brought these strawberries out. They needed some sun. I think I want to plant them in the ground. The thing on the pot said that they would do fine in here, but they just look overcrowded to me, and I feel like they would spread out. Leave me your thoughts in the comments on that if you've raised strawberry plants before, but I really think that they would spread out because I can see where they want to send off shoots, but they can't because there's nowhere for their babies to root into. So anyway, I'm going to start hardening these off too, and then I might decide to plant them in the ground as well. But yeah, I'm going to leave all these herbs out. They look just fine. They're a little floppy, but I think they'll be fine for 1 more hour. But I'm going to bring in my flowers. It's been 30 more minutes, and they're looking great, so I'm going to leave them for the last 30 minutes. So they will have gotten a full 2 hours. The eggplants are a little sad, but they'll be okay. They're not doing too bad. Yeah, I'm really happy with how they all look. All right, it's been 1 hour. I'm going to bring these plants inside now. You can see they are definitely a little bit sad looking, but they're not anything that they wouldn't recover from. And it's actually really good for your plants to go through this process before you put them in the garden. That way they've had a chance to acclimate, and they've had a chance to go through stress. And that's very important because when you put plants out, bugs and like bad bugs can come and they can smell the stress. Like they send off a pheromone, and it will send off a pheromone that, hey, I'm stressed. And then bugs, a lot of bugs that would eat your plants are attracted to that pheromone, and they'll come and they will attack your plants when they're at their weakest. So if they've gone through this process of stress before you actually plant them in the garden, it's very good, because then they have already, the plants have built up their strength, and they're ready for those bugs. They're ready because you've hardened them off.
And more eggs.
Yeah, she had her eggs. Some exciting news is a second hen has gone broody. So this is great news for all those eggs that should be hatching out of the incubator, because now I can give, let's say 20 hatch. 10 chicks can go to this chicken, and 10 chicks can go to this chick. I don't think we'll have that good of a hatch rate. It would be amazing, but I've never had... I don't know, I set 56 eggs. That would only be 50% if 20 out of 50, if 25 out of 50 hatched. Anyway, I'm excited because I can split up the chicks that do hatch between these two. And I'm not expecting a great hatch, but so far, the egg candling project is going well, and I feel like I figured out some of the problems with that incubator. Oh, chicken, you're so loud. I'm trying to talk over you. Anyway, 2 broody hens now. Very exciting. I can give them chicks once the chicks hatch from the incubator. This little gray hen has actually hatched 2 batches of chicks for me. She hatched ducklings last year, and she also hatched chicks for me 2 years ago. So she's getting very old, but it looks like she wants to be a mother one more time, so I'm going to let her sit. And I'm excited. It'll be really fun if she stays broody, and I can show you how to switch out these fake Easter eggs for actual real chicks once they hatch. But thanks for hanging out with me today. I mean, this challenge is hard, but it's good. It's a good thing. I definitely want to start cooking our meals from scratch. I want to be able to know what ingredients go in our food, and there's just a lot of processed meat and processed things, and fast food just isn't that great for us. And like all the additive hormones and just everything. So I definitely, it's not impossible and it's not so far out of reach. It's not that hard.